Okay, so now it's time to make these two halves fit together. And the way I'm going to do this is by taking the top half of the can, using my needle nose pliers. I'm going to grab about 1/4 of an inch of can here. Let's make sure that's about 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, that's close enough. Again, there's no exact measurement, and I'm going to twist just like that. See, I've made a little twist. So I'm just going to go all the way around the can like that, bing, and crimp, crimp. I'm spacing these out again about 1/4 of an inch in between each. So 1/4 inch deep, 1/4 inch between. And what this will do is it'll reduce the diameter of the top portion so that it will slide inside the bottom. Just eyeballing it all the way around. That's why I like this. It's really simple. It's not rocket science. You can make a mistake, no big deal. Sometimes when you do this crimping part, you may notice that it doesn't quite fit inside the bottom. And I suspect that's what we'll see here. If that happens, well, just give it another little crimp. Ooh, we're so close. Okay, so I'm just going to go around and touch on some of these. I'm not going to do them all, maybe every other one. Just give it add a little tiny twist. It's better to not twist it enough than to twist too much, right? Again, I've done this a few times, so I kind of have a sense of how it's going to go. I'm guessing that right now that's probably good enough. You just want to barely get it to bite inside there. Almost. Struggle with it a bit. Okay. Maybe a little more. Just a little more. There we go. And I can see the ones that I've twisted twice, so I don't want to do them again. There we go. I think we're going to get it this time. Let's try that, see how that looks. Oh, so close, so close. Just a little more, just a little more, just a little more. You can see there's a little arch that develops as each one is twisted. I try to avoid, I don't want that arch to go all the way to the top, because then I end up with a big gap when I press these together. So that's why I say you only want to grip about 1/4 of an inch with the pliers. Yeah, for a good snug fit. Snug fit, that's what you want. You want a snug fit. Okay, I like the way, there we go. Now it's starting to go together, see? So before I smush this together, I'm going to put in my screen and stuff in the what do you call that? Insulation. Screen just fits in there like that. That's another reason why I like this particular can. It has a wide surface area for the screen to fit up against, so there should be no gaps of any kind between the screen and the face. Right? Just like that. Very exquisite. And we'll stuff some foam in there. Stuff a little more foam in there. I like to stuff a lot in so it's completely full. Although it does make putting this together a little dicey. Oh, come on, baby. You know you want it. Don't fight. as you can see, can be a struggle. Don't give up. Don't be discouraged. It's better to struggle here than to over-twist and over-crimp. Right? Oh, I know you're going to go. You did already. Okay. It's also good to know when to accept defeat. Just a little more. Come on. There we go. Okay, let's try that. Okay, that's good. Alright, so I've got it this far. Now I just need to press the whole thing into place. So I'm going to turn it upside down like that, and I'm going to get a book or something to press down with. Yeah, I'll use this. And that is the finished stove. Actually, I hesitate to call it a stove. This is a burner. A stove is a complete system, and we'll talk more about a complete system, because this is something that's been really irking the heck out of me. People make all these wonderful little stoves, but you have to remember a cook system consists of a pot, a burner, a windscreen, and a pot stand. Four pieces. So what we're going to do next is we're going to test this thing out. I'm going to make my lunch, so stay tuned. Okay, so this is the burner that we just made. This is the original burner that it evolved from. Both made from the same cans, same screen, same insulation in the middle. But obviously it's evolved from something taller to something shorter, and that happened for a reason. And this brings me to a point that I have been grappling with and frustrated with for a long time. People talk about alcohol stoves, but they don't consider that the stove is part of a larger system. In this case, it's part of the pot, the windscreen, the pot stand, and the burner itself. You have to define, well, what is it that you want? What are you cooking with? Do you want to just boil water? Do you want to be able to simmer? Do you want, how heavy is your pot? You have to start thinking about these constraints. And I don't think, when we first start looking at alcohol stoves, we really consider that. For instance, I know I did not. I looked at penny stoves, I looked at cat stoves, side burners, top burners, a number of things. So what I did, and how I've arrived at this, was first I decided what I wanted to have for a pot. In this case, I had found a can, a coffee can, Illy Coffee. I call it my Billy can. And it is a certain dimension. And I like it because it's tall versus short and wide. I like the tall can because I can use a wider windscreen and I can absorb more heat from my heat source, my burner, whatever I choose to use, because more of this is covering the can. The other reason I like this is usually the stuff that I make requires 2 cups of water, which fills about to right here, the midpoint level. So if I have the pot on a pot stand with a windscreen, my windscreen will come up to that point, so that I'll be absorbing more heat from the burner via reflection through the windscreen. And I'll demonstrate how that works. The other thing to consider, and a lot of people seem to miss this, is, okay, well, let's say I have this type of burner here, this type of burner here. How much space? What's the interspace between the burner and the bottom of the pot? I have a piece of wire cloth here that actually demonstrates the ideal distance for me as far as that space is concerned. I like this, but I decided I wanted to move away from that, because if you want to simmer, you have to remove this and then put a simmer ring on. So what I did was I took my windscreen and I inserted 2 pieces of metal rod that I just cut off of a coat hanger. That's set at the same height as the wire cloth. So that would fit right over the burner there. Then my pot would sit right on top of that. And again, as I said, this level right here is where the water level would come up to if I were just boiling 2 cups of water. And that is why I chose to alter this burner down to a smaller size that we made today. This size here. Also, by the by, if you wish, you can cut out another can and make a snuffer lid for it, and you have a means of putting out the flame if that's what you desire. Personal experience has shown me, though, that I already know how much fuel to add in for whatever cooking I want to do, that this becomes a redundant piece. I keep it just to protect it so that the screen doesn't get smashed when it's in my can when I'm packing it. So a lot of things you can do there. So that's all I want to say about that, I guess. The other thing, too, I want to mention the windscreen. You see I have a series of holes drilled in the bottom. Obviously, without those holes in the bottom, the combustion is not going to be as efficient as it could be. You could end up not cooking whatever it is you're trying to cook or boil water. So I think the last thing that I would like to do is, it's lunchtime, I see, and I'm getting hungry, and I would like to make some lunch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up on the stovetop. Obviously on a stovetop indoors we're not dealing with real world conditions, but I'm going to do 2 cups of water, and I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of my fondue fuel that I get from the dollar store. That's $1 for 16 ounces. It's tinted blue, and we'll see how that works. Cheers.